PSYOP, when I use the term, is talking about a narrative-driven control of perception with the aim of shaping behavior. I'm just going to feed you something enough to where I have a desired outcome that I want you to do behaviorally. Maybe take on some new identity of I am this type of person now and I do this thing now instead of ideas. So it's more about identity than ideas.
Attribute the success.
Everything is a scam.
Because when you take away the programming and you take away the lies, all that's left is what's true.
At this point in time, everything they want you to believe is so outlandish that pretty much most people have recognized that everything is a psyop. But it all starts with marketing itself, which was basically founded by the same person who founded propaganda. He wrote the book on propaganda and revolutionized marketing itself.
The same psychological discoveries meant to heal individuals were later weaponized to sway nations, sell cigarettes, and to make those who knew these dark arts of propaganda rich. Sigmund Freud identified the unconscious mind as the actual force that drives human behavior. He developed these concepts to heal patients, while his nephew, Edward Bernays, took those very same ideas and then used them to manipulate the masses. He discovered that by appealing to emotions rather than logic, you could persuade a nation to fight in a war it didn't agree with, convince women that smoking was an act of independence, and use Freud's discoveries as a tool for mass manipulation.
Many seem to think that experiments in mass manipulation the government has done in the past, from getting us into wars to the use of MKUltra, isn't happening right now. Not realizing what they've done is made the techniques even better and outsourced in many ways to corporations. This bypasses certain governmental restrictions, and corporations get the benefit of learning psychological techniques to make profit.
Bernays proved that whoever controlled the unconscious controlled the crowd. But once that door was open, it could never be closed again.
I mean, we're in a spiritual battle, and what happens next is vitally important. And that's why I'm creating this video and many in the series that come after it. Because I believe that although we've been manipulated in many different ways, and all these different things, history, school, medicine, food, all these things have been weaponized against us. Despite that, I actually believe that we can flip all of this and actually turn the things that have been weaponized against us to be, instead of tools of enslavement, tools of freedom. And that includes AI.
There's a spark that lives within each of us. It lives within you. It's already there. You don't have to attain it by going to workshops and creating all kinds of mystical components outside of your body. That spark has always been with you, and through the ages, there have been efforts to repress and deny that spark. Our job is to peel back the layers that have denied our divinity. Because when you take away the programming and you take away the lies, all that's left is what's true. All that's left is your humanness. All that's left is your divinity.
People are waking up now. They know that these systems are not there to benefit the people, that what they say they are going to do is actually not what they do at all. And they're filled with lies on everything that they do. They take away from people, you see. And people are seeing this. And what I saw in this potential future event, this vision, to give you an example, civil unrest, people seeing these things, beginning to speak up about these things.
I'd like to invite you to join me in watching these videos, liking, subscribing, and actually sharing with others who may benefit from them, and then actually take it a step further for those who know. At our depths, we are creators. We are here to create. On a spiritual level, that means so much. And so if this galvanizes you at all, if this gets you in any way, sign up for the group I've got. In there, what we're doing is, it's not about learning these different things. It's about getting back to the roots. It's about decentralization through what we're able to do, all of us together. It gets to the root of learning and teaching each other and actually buying and selling from each other in ways that are far different from what you're used to. Because marketing itself is a psyop. Selling itself is a psyop. All these manipulations don't need to be there. We can actually do all that from heart and soul. Because when you actually align to certain principles, you don't need to manipulate anybody. It doesn't have to be that way. It's just something that they've used so that they can sell you all kinds of BS, right? But it's our time to basically take back our lives and actually do things, create in ways that can actually make us healthy, make us on fire again, Everything has been manipulated against us, but we can change all that. We can change all that. And so that's why I'm making this video. And then I'm gonna have ongoing videos. I'm dedicated to this because I believe that we can change things, but we have to do it by connecting with each other and by getting to the heart of what we are. At a spiritual level, we are creators. And when we create for ourselves and for each other, then what happens next? You know, despite all the manipulations, which there are a comprehensive list of them, okay? Despite all of what they do against us, guess what? We win. And what I mean by winning is we actually live with purpose. We actually live with our spiritual potential, what we truly are at the depths. So I invite you to just consider these ideas, okay? Consider that we have a chance to change everything. And it really is about each of us actually stepping up to the bat. Because the decisions that we make individually actually feed the collective. So one of the core reasons I think all of this is going to work to our favor has to do with changing how we see the world itself. But most of these changes that become possible for us actually start with recognizing something about the world that at this point I think is obvious to most of the people I come in contact with and relate to, but might not be obvious to many others. So I'm going to put this out here. It's a very simple little thought exercise here, okay? Okay, so we're at the billiard table, right? And this is like the world. Like you've got your billiard balls, right? And the world works like this in most people's minds, right? You've got your ball, you've got to hit it just in the right place, and it goes in, and everybody's happy. And when you know how to hit the ball in the right place, all of these different angles, and you practice, then you win. Like in the world itself, you are a winner. So this is the reductionist way of thinking. And you just use certain systems, you use a certain map, and you hit things in a certain way. And it all is just cold, hard balls. Nothing is alive, and it's just chance and all that kind of stuff. But what if, in fact, it was so much more? We've got so much more that's been discovered. Epigenetics and all these different ways that we can basically influence our reality and have things turn out differently than if you just hit a billiard ball into a pocket, right? And so that's what we're talking about going forward. Now, just knowing all that isn't going to get you anywhere. You need to practice it. And that's where you have the law of attraction and all that kind of stuff going on. But the thing of it is, it goes well beyond that because our world isn't what we think it is. And they want you to believe that it is. Once you start thinking differently and living differently, it gives you the chance to turn all those things they've weaponized against us, health, wealth, education, food, and so on. Once you get to a certain place, actually flip everything on its head and start living to your fullest potential and thriving and having and helping other people thrive and just making this life amazing rather than just barely surviving or plugging into a machine that they control. And this isn't about forcing against anything at all. It's not about battling anything at all. In fact, that would do the opposite. It's kind of like the finger trap. You're not going to struggle to get out of the Chinese finger trap. You're just going to twist your fingers and you'll be out. That's what we're doing here. We can effectively do all that we need to do to thrive without having to brute force against any of the stuff they're doing. And that's the beauty. Okay, so if you watched up until now, thank you. Thank you very much. Share this with someone who you think might benefit. And let's see what we can do to kind of flip everything on its head. I'm going to be going in these next 2 videos to talk about the changes I've been making and I've seen others make in their lives to ensure that despite being over 50, I can be in the best shape of my life and cognitively even better and just making life amazing, okay? It's about actually galvanizing our true potential and who we are. Thank you for everyone that watched up to this point. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.